Kohimadi aji magyaro bacha khilaf violence grouper address krigna Capital Convention Center de state level convergence meeting lushe. Meeting do Mission Vatsalya and Mission Shakti Department of Social Welfare Government of Nagaland pra Nagaland Police or Nagaland State Legal Services Authority lokot miligina organized krase. Director General of Police Rupin Sharma Brakushagi child marriage aro child abuse lagabishi cases to traditional aro social cultural perspective pra define globally dictari samnakure. Kude sorgar agencies nohole police can intervene krishagwili family culture customs aro social norms ki interfere grunge nasai. Meeting day Sharma bra alcohol related issues, money lenders act, civil disputes are society bra alak issues samna kura upar kota krishe. Details saisabo.
I was just going through the brochures. There is so much being done, yet so less happening on the ground. At least this is what I feel. There are areas which are covered in the brochures which sort of we don't even sometimes pay lip service to. There are areas where there is intervention required by various government agencies. We don't have adequate mechanisms in place. I'm not saying we don't have mechanisms in place. We have mechanisms in place, but we don't have adequate mechanisms in place. There are areas which are almost everything under the sun, everything under the sky, where police is expected to intervene, where we do not have powers. Yet, in the common belief and realm, everybody expects and thinks that it is the duty of the police to intervene. Yes, there is some opposition to police intervening everywhere because everybody thinks that police is a nuisance. Honestly, but a lot of people think that the more that you empower police, the more it becomes a sort of a police state where police will start controlling people. But I don't think that is the case. I think almost all of you who would have encountered the police or who would have had any encounter or a meeting with the police would have felt that unless you are wrong, the police is normally helpful. Okay. Only if you are wrong, then you are afraid of the police. And I think that is how it should be. A lot of people think that police is a nuisance, danda bhi marega, paisa bhi lega, all that stuff, they'll take you, they will arrest you, all that stuff, But an innocent person who has not done anything wrong doesn't have anything to fear from the police. If there is a dispute in the family, within the family, whether it is between a husband or a wife or between a mother-in-law or a father-in-law or an abuse of a child, whether at home or in school, everybody expects the police to intervene. I think Indian police has come a long way where people have had the trust of the Indian police in various issues. I was going through these brochures, as I said, and there are things like prevention of child marriages, child abuse, whether it is at home or it is in schools or at workplace or outside. A lot of these things are very difficult to define. A lot of these things from a very traditional socio-cultural mindset, if you try to bring in the police or the administration into play, you will feel or you will say that it is an interference into our culture or our customs or our society or our norms or intrusion into our family. But the point is, where else does a person go? Where else does a victim go? He has to go somewhere. And I think that somewhere is police. A couple of things that I'll pick on. One is the Money Lenders Act in Nagaland. A lot of you would know, a lot of you would acknowledge that probably thousands of families have been destroyed in Nagaland because of this money lending which is taking place. Thousands of families. I know for sure that our police people were taking loans at exorbitant rates. It's not just like 1%, 2% per month. Sometimes it is 20% per month. And 20% per month means it translates to 240% per annum. Whereas a bank will give you a loan at about 11 to 12% per annum. And then you get into a circle where he's not able to pay and you are sort of extorting money. I think we need to look at this Money Lenders Act in Nagaland not just as a control on illegal or unauthorized money lending, but as a pure case of extortion taking place. The second is the Nltp Act. Again, hundreds and thousands of homes have been destroyed in Nagaland because of liquor consumption. It includes children, it includes ladies, it includes jets, it includes families. Yes, police have some powers, but those powers are restricted. Not restricted, the powers are restrictive in a sense, legally restrictive in a sense, where there are more powers to the director of prosecution and prohibition and all that to the police. But let me ask a simple question. Which is the department that an ordinary man in the street expects to take action on liquor? The single answer, the first answer comes to mind is police. Yes, excise department and the prohibition department are the authorized sort of department. Since I'm in social media, I get the maximum amount of flack from the public for not controlling prohibition in that. Because I, as Rupin Sharma and as DGP and as Nagaland police, everybody expects police to kill na kore. Police chhatro manu ke dure thake. Police down manu ke hath na lagaye. Why? Because everybody expects the khaki or the person in the khaki, that trust is there, that it is their duty. Nobody realizes that their duty stops somewhere or is limited somewhere. Okay. The same is the case with, say, child marriages. I don't think Nagaland will have too many child marriages in the strictest sense of law, but yes, those marriages taking place below, child marriage in the sense that when I talk of the Hindu society or the rest of the country, the parents get children married at a young age. Okay, so they still don't stay together; they stay separately for a while and then they later on join together. So that is the custom in some of the states, which was banned. Again, it was not banned because Hindus were good or the rest of the country was good. It was banned by the Britishers because they realized it was bad. The Child Marriage Restraint Act is not an Indian law in the strictest sense that it was enacted by the Indian Parliament. It was the Britishers who enacted it because they felt it is law. It was wrong. So this is a small example. These two examples I always cite, whether it was the Child Marriage Restraint Act or the Sati Prohibition Act. Yes, police cannot intervene in civil disputes. We cannot act as recovery agents, but if there is a criminal element, there is nothing which stops the police from intervening in that. The role of NGOs, civil society and the public is huge. It cannot be denied. Okay, we do not want to deny you your space of having a role in the society. You are a part of the society. But please do not do anything which puts you in conflict with law. Don't take law into your own hands. Thank you for a patient listening. I'll just end by saying that for Nagaland Police, we will be there for every person, every resident of Nagaland to support you, to help you in whether it is crime against women or children or child abuse or any other crime which is taking place in Nagaland, or you think that there is an abuse which is taking place. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.